Hello, everybody, and welcome to what is the first episode of Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast, y'all. So we're going to be talking about mental health. And the reason that I named this episode Headstart is because when you think about doing things that you're afraid of, at least in my opinion, it's really hard for you to fight your fears and actually go ahead and do it. But people who suffer from things like anxiety, like me, I have really bad anxiety. Just getting up and doing something, you can't connect those, you know what I mean? And so I feel like first you have to convince yourself mentally that you can do it before you go out trying to do random stuff. And you know what I mean? And it fails miserably and then you feel bad about it. So in my opinion, what worked for me is literally coaching my mind. Even though I'm not up recording this podcast, I'm in my bed every day, Toya, you can do this, you can do this. You got to start with that self-motivation before you just jump into something, because it's scary, right? Anytime we do anything that is out of the ordinary, it's scary. Even this podcast, if you know me, I bought all of this equipment a year and a half ago. And this is my first time actually using it, which is why I was behind a little bit too. But it literally took me in my mind to tell myself okay, Toya, what do you want your podcast to be like? Who do you want to listen to it? Who do you want to benefit from it? And so before I could even jump into it, I had to just mentally tell myself that I could, right? And if you all, this is where y'all come in and talk to, give me a yes, a amen, a I've been there, you know what I mean? But things that work for you, what are some things that work for people who suffer from anxiety, even before you start to plan out what it is that you want to do? What are some of the things that you tell yourself mentally? For me, it was that I could do it. For me, it was that I have so many support systems. For me, it was telling myself, you have so many talents. For me, it was telling myself you have, so many different options for things that you could do if this doesn't work. So if anybody out there suffers with anxiety and self-motivating, what are some things that you do or you try to do to sort of motivate yourself and get you there? That was a question for y'all. What are some of the things you tell yourself to get you to that level of even being ready to start to plan to reach your goals? I'll wait. Don't be scary. It's 24 people on here. So, some things. Thank you. So, Camille, I was actually just about to talk about journaling, praying. Okay, listen, because up in this little apartment of mine, that's what I've been doing. My sister said, continuously remind yourself that you're brave and fearless. Exactly. Hey, Diggy, you're never not going to be scared. That feeling is going to go away. I find accountability buddies. Yes. Tyler said, I don't know if it's something I say to myself, but sometimes I just get the urge to jump off the deep end. That's real. Hey, Nisi Poo. I pray about it and do my part and let God handle the rest. And that is something that I think I really want to touch on, is praying. Because even that, some people are so oblivious to, they don't really know how to do it. And so when we're in a day and age too, where I notice that your faith in God and your religious beliefs are becoming more and more, I don't want to say popular, because Christianity has always been popular, but people are not embarrassed anymore. So if you are one of those people to kind of be well, I ain't been to church and, God knows how long, I don't really know if I know how to pray. That's a fear in itself that we don't talk about. People give us these tips, but they don't acknowledge the fact that it's so difficult for us to even apply them. And so that's what I want us to think about encouraging each other for. In a world today where we're just starting to come back together, but you're also seeing so much separation, in the country and in the world in general, people aren't teaching themselves how to rely on each other. So this is a time now where I feel like it's important for us to rely on each other, because all the times well, for me, that I go through things that are difficult, I sort of like pull myself back. And that can be in like work, when I was still in school, in grad school. Anytime I kind of felt like I was going through something, I kind of naturally drew back because I felt like nobody's going to understand. Nobody's going to understand where I'm coming from. Nobody's going to know what type of advice to give. But what people don't actually realize is there's so many people that are sharing your experience. And that's why you need to find your village, find your community, and really, really lean on them. I love all the comments. I got Camille. And if it's new, I remind myself that I'm going to regret not taking a step. Yep. Stating, I draw my energy from the memories of people saying I can't and I won't. That's deep. I know a lot of times we let the negative defeat us, but I use it to empower me. And that's a skill too. So encouraging yourself or using the negativity in your life to sort of like rev you up, that's a skill too, y'all. And I really think it's a muscle in our brains and our minds that we have to exercise that people don't talk about. Good. My sister says she doesn't know how to do it praying. You just talk to God and have faith that he knows. Yes. So that is very real, because it's going to feel weird when you first do it or when you first think about it. It's like, is this how it's supposed to go? It feels weird, but I'm telling you, do what you got to do to get your mind right. So with that being said, I had posted in the group, I don't know if you all were in there, but there was a chart and it's a triangle. It's called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. I'm about to see if I can pull that up right now. I feel like I'm at work now. Let me pull the image up, guys. Try to pull it up on your Chromebooks. Hold on. Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. And what this does is it sort of outlines the basic needs for humans. Like, what do we need to be successful? The things at the bottom are like the basic needs. Like, you can't move to one level until you've conquered the one beneath it. So those levels from the bottom up are physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. And so mentally, these things can affect you because if you don't have them, you're doing everything in your power to sort of acquire them. So you can't expect us or people who are underprivileged, who are poor, who are oppressed, you can't expect them to be at the top and be those people in power and be those fearless leaders that we want to see them as if we don't have the basic needs. So physiological needs, for example, are like air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. There are so many people, and I see this all the time, just growing up and in my line of work, that people who are lacking these basic needs, who don't have, food at home, who don't have shelter at home, who lack sleep, those mothers that work 3 and 4 jobs to put food on the table for their kids, like, they have to put their needs on hold because they're trying to acquire basic needs. And at the very top is where you reach self-actualization, and that says it's the desire to become the most that you can be. And that's exactly what tackling your goals are, no matter how big or small they are to someone else. The top of that pyramid is the desire to become what you want to be. If you can't even have that desire because you're lacking basic needs, how do we expect people to just go for it? So mentally, you have to make yourself strong, and mentally, you have to prepare yourself for all obstacles. And if things go wrong, prepare yourself to handle defeat, to handle failure, because it's a part of something that we all go through, right? So it's just something to think about, especially in the way that the world is too. So I'm kind of switching over a little bit. Stop me if y'all like confused. Be like, girl, what? But switching over to like the things in the world now, Black Lives Matter, for example. And they are, now this where it gets touchy, y'all. Let me try to be politically correct. Hold on. So, African Americans historically have always been less respected than Caucasians in America, right? And a lot of people complain about how a lot of African Americans should work harder. They rely on food stamps, public housing, and things like that. And they, when I say they, I mean racist people, right? Not right. I had to take a sip of wine because this is where it gets tricky, and this is where I really want you all to say your opinions, because I have so many people from different backgrounds. I have so many people from different backgrounds on here right now. So different ethnic groups, religious beliefs, all of that. But they can't expect people who are African American and born in impoverished communities to easily get to the level that the superior white cultures are, because a lot of them lack those basic needs. That's why they've been put in situations where they need public assistance, because that basic need has to be met. So if we're not given the same level playing field, you know what I mean, and we're not afforded the same opportunities that a lot of privileged people have from like their families and inheritance, they can automatically think about moving up to doing what it is that they really want to do because they had those resources. It's sort of like, I have a lot of teacher friends on here, like prior knowledge. How do you expect a student to be able to meet your standard that you want them to reach if they don't have the background knowledge to understand what that is or understand the foundations of it? For my non-teacher friends, it's like if we're trying to teach a kid to multiply and they don't even know how to add yet. So same thing with this is basic life skills. Underprivileged people, they don't have the family inheritances. They don't have people in their family who went to college. They don't have the people in their families that started trust funds and college funds. So if we're not given those opportunities, you can't expect us to just meet you where you at. Yeah, we can get there, right? Give us all of that. And I'm going to tell you something. Give us that, and black people are definitely going to be superior. You know what I mean? But we don't have that, and we got to work 2 times and 3 times and 4 times as hard. But guess what? We do it. Even right now, in the middle of a pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs. But how's about, I've seen the most black-owned business shout outs. I've seen the most online boutiques. I've seen the most people selling plates. One thing about black people is we gonna make it, right? And it's scary to the world because it's new, right? The internet is giving us that platform. Lucky, if you know the name of the video, let us know. He said that T.I. posted a video that shows a good example of it on Instagram. But yeah, like, give us what y'all got, and it's up there. Okay, it's up there because y'all listen. It's up there if African Americans are given and afforded the same opportunity, the same respect that other people are given. Naturally, we're elite. If you think back to Africans, they had to hunt their food. Of course, we're fast. Of course, we can jump high. Of course, we can jump far because we adapted to our surroundings, no matter what situation we were put in. Yeah, so now I feel like I'm preaching, y'all. What's up? What y'all thinking? I still got about 24 people on here. Let me know what y'all thinking. I'm gonna assume that y'all typing, because I'm about to go back to the point that I was making. They know not to, because we come from nothing. Literally, African Americans come from the dirt. We come from nothing. If you want to get deep about it, we come from nothing and always make a way. And that's why the separation of us is such a powerful thing too. If African Americans came together, like for real, I am Korean American, and I've been really trying to check my privilege as an Asian American person, because oh, girl, this is long but hey, so we danced together in high school. Girl, you typed a lot. I love it. Keep it coming, though. Because I'm close proximity to white America. But it was at the cost of black lives. But to retract, I want to reiterate that all black people and black males, oh, snap, it's going too fast. Black males, black educators, black females, black trans lives, black people, period. You guys don't have to be accepting of white people who surprisingly got woke all of a sudden in the midst of this Black Lives Matter movement. Issa, that is very true, my love, and I appreciate you for even mentioning that. My friend Isel, I went to high school with her and we were on the dance team together. Shout out to Lane Tech dance team. But yeah, she's a Korean American, and she was just speaking to the fact that she needs to check her own privilege. And even a lot of Asian Americans in general face a lot of the same what word do I want to use? I guess I can say discrimination that black people do, people of color in general. And that's the weirdest thing to me. I'm sorry, I'm diverting a little bit, y'all, but racism is so weird to me. I just don't understand the concept. Because, like, I love that people are different. Like, that shit is amazing. Child, it's not a black person's job to keep the conversation going. It's white people and other people of color responsibility. That's some tea or wine for you. But yeah, y'all. So I just want people who have not reached their goals yet to not give up on yourself. A lot of us in our own little world, we don't really talk about the things that we lack. But again, like going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if you don't have your basic things like food, water, and shelter, don't feel bad about not being the same as, you know what I mean, the multi-millionaire or the Kim Kardashians of the world, because you didn't have the same opportunities to begin with. The next one is like safety needs. So employment, resources, health. Let's not get started on healthcare. You know what I mean? Like the disparities in healthcare. So, and these are at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The next one is love and belonging. So after you've gotten your security, your employment, you got healthcare, you own some property, you know what I mean? Now you can move on to showing love and feeling like you belong in a group. There are so many people who just don't know how to express love, you know what I mean? And people get upset with them, but they don't have the background knowledge. They don't have everything else they need to just be a functional human being. So they can't give off that love to anybody else. Come on, y'all. Stop playing with me. I'm just reading Maslow's hierarchy. Let me show my friends on Facebook. I'm just reading what it says to y'all, because before we even get to big picture things, this stuff right here is basic self-esteem. So after you've conquered being able to show and feel love for other people, now it talks about esteem. So self-esteem, self-respect, strength. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about a lot of women who we call hoes. Women who like sleep around a lot. They probably do that because they don't have that sense of love and belonging that's right underneath esteem. They don't have those safety needs, some of them. You know what I mean? Some of them don't feel safe in their homes. They don't have the basic food, water, shelter, so they're trying to compensate. I see all these comments. They're trying to compensate for the gaps in their life. So you can't expect people to just get up and do things. You know what I mean? So that's my whole point in this episode being called Headstart, is because you literally have to tell your mind. You literally have to analyze the things that are going on with you before you can put something out into the world or project anything out into the world. You have to know that you have that for yourself. I'm reading some more comments, and these are referring back to the topic we were just talking about. And this is stating, as a gay black man, I sometimes feel like I have less tools than a straight black man, and sometimes I feel like whites and others have conditioned us to harm one another because of what we are capable of. I think blacks can get to top quicker if anyone. And you know what? It's crazy because when you talk about black gay black men and straight black men, I just had this thought maybe yesterday, like, what, like, could you imagine if just out of respect, like the disrespect for a gay black man or even a gay black woman, trans, it doesn't matter, and those like hard ass macho manly black men be like, dude, what you doing? Like, if they had your back, people would be shook. Like, if all black people can just be black people and look past, like, we're the most, I don't understand how black people are the most divided race in their own race. I have never in my life, and this is where I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so if you are an expert in this, please correct me. I have never heard a like Korean person be like, I hate those stupid Vietnamese people. Like, I can't stand you know what I'm saying, Korean Asians. So why is it that black people are like, yeah, we all black, but I don't like the gay black people, or I don't like fat black people? Like, that's stupid. Y'all know how dumb black people look? I don't like gay black people. I don't like black people that never been to college. Like, looking down your nose at people that are not like you, that are not black like you. That's the dumbest thing ever. And once we get that under control, we gon' get some leverage too. But y'all tripping. Hold on, I'm thirsty. Yes, true. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I love that y'all talking to each other, because I'm just over here on my soapbox right now. It's men too. Yep. Men are searching for unconditional love that they've never experienced themselves. That is true. We don't give black men enough room to be affectionate, I feel like. I'm reading comments right now. I'm going to have a lot of editing to do, because there's so many times in this video where I'm just sitting quiet reading y'all comments. But I love that there are so many. I wish that I could actually talk to you. Soon, I'm going to be doing guests. Also, I'm not an expert, but I read a novel. I ain't even going to lie to you. I can't pronounce that, Julia. But y'all can read the comments. And I learned a ton about racism between various Asian and ethnic groups. Everyone wants somebody to make them feel superior. Interesting. I'm going to have to look that up. Shout out to my coworker Staten, talking to my bestie Tyler. I don't know what y'all talking about, but y'all got a lot of exclamation marks and emojis, so it sounds like the conversation is good. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna keep pushing. I love these comments. I see you, Bounce. Hey, girl. That wasn't talk, so it's hard for them to connect. Yes, and black man, baby, it is okay to cry. If you got something to cry about, black man, look, I got 2 shoulders. Pick one. You could come cry over here. Sorry, my phone falling again. Oh, Camille, for sure. I'll definitely contact you about getting that book. So, I'm not trying to have y'all here all day. I really appreciate that my numbers are up. Like, I love this. I expected like 2 people to be on here. But nonetheless, so y'all know I'm a teacher, right? And me being a teacher, I just couldn't give you all this information, and I just couldn't let all these great conversations and connections happen without giving y'all some homework. But we're not going to call it homework. We're going to call it hard work. And so if you have a journal, what I'm going to be also doing with my podcast is I want us to all connect with each other on a daily basis. So I want us all to get a journal, all get a notepad, and we're just going to be jotting things down every day, because this is a community. We have to help each other reach our goals. So the hard work for this week is for you to write down 3 goals that you have. Big, small, doesn't matter. I want you, yes, hard work. I want you to write down 3 goals that you have. And keeping in mind that the name of this episode is Headstart. We're starting with mental things, right? So you write down your 3 goals. And then I also want you to write down 5 positive affirmations that you have for yourself. So my goal, for example, let's say my podcast was my goal. So in my journal, I'm going to write the date. Boom, podcast, launch date. That's it. Now, I don't want y'all to start planning. You're just writing it down. Don't jump the gun, because then you're going to have anxiety attacks like me, and you're going to be stressed out. So just don't try to be an overachiever, okay? Write down 3 goals that you have. Boom. Write down 5 affirmations that are going to help you to remember your goal. How many affirmations? 5 affirmations, okay? So, for example, mine would probably be like, you are talented. You are unstoppable. You have a brilliant mind. You have a support circle. And you got nice edges. I don't know. Whatever makes you feel happy. Write 5 affirmations. Thank you. Thank you for my active participants. You're going to write 5 affirmations. And I literally want you to say those affirmations to yourself every day until we get back on here. And we're going to try to, manifest them. But write down your 5 affirmations. Say them to yourself every day. Also,
I'm going to make sure y'all doing y'all hard work. So if you do complete the hard work in your journal, I want you to take a selfie. You don't have to send us what it is if it's personal, but I want you to see a picture of you writing. I want to see a picture of you with your journal. And I want you can actually DM them to me. I'm going to create an Instagram page soon where you can send them in there. Or actually drop them in a group. That's what we're going to do. So drop your pictures of yourself with your journal, writing your list, writing your affirmations, drop it in a group, and I'm going to feature you on the Instagram page. Okay? So 5 affirmations, 3 goals. Get it? Got it. All right. So now, another part of this being a family and a community is highlighting other people. So I know so many people who have talents, businesses, corporations, writing books. They know how to dance, whatever the case may be, but that are trying to start businesses. So I'm going to feature a part on the podcast every week, and it's going to be called Plugged In. So I'm going to give you our resources, and this is a great time as we're looking for like black businesses and things like that. So the first person that I'm actually going to shout out, and I hope I don't mess this up because I just talked to him about it today. It is my friend, my big brother. His name is Kel. We met in college. Shout out to FAMU, home of the Rattlers. And Kel is actually getting shout out because he has a graphic design organization that he started. He actually did my logo. So the Universal Tees podcast logo that you see is created by him. And his design company is called A New Designs. And it's spelled weird, y'all. So let me spell it for you. Actually, I can type it. So his name is Kel. And his company is called NEU. I'm sorry. A New. I say NEU because that's what it looks like. NEU Designs. And you all go ahead and follow him on Instagram if you need a graphic done. He does like plaques and other cool logo-y things. So if you want anything logo, maybe a t-shirt logo, hit him up. And that is on Instagram. So I'm going to go through okay, there we go. So shout out to my brother Kel. It was not an easy task. It took us a minute to figure out what we were going to do with this logo that he made for me. But he did it. He's an amazing person, artist, rapper, dancer. We danced together in college also. He's a part of my dance organization. And yeah, go check him out. It's a new. So can y'all see why I'm about to say NEU? But it's a new. I asked him earlier how to pronounce it. It's NEU Designs. And what time is it, y'all? It's been 30 minutes. And I'm going to say that is the end of this episode. Anybody have anything to say? I want to shout out everybody that all love Kel. Kel, can you actually put the actual Instagram name and everything in here? And I'll pin that comment because I don't know if I did it right, y'all. This may or may not be my first glass of wine. But yeah, go ahead and hit my brother up. I'm going to end this episode after I shout out all of my friends that joined. Y'all don't understand, like, I got 23 people on here. If you know me and I've talked to you about this podcast, like, I literally was feeling like I was going to have 2 people on here. So shout out to y'all for coming through. This is me fighting my own fears, guys, and dealing with my own anxiety. Like I told y'all, I bought this equipment a year and a half ago. And this is the first time I've used it because I was afraid that people weren't going to listen, that I wasn't going to do it right, that I couldn't work the technology. You know what I'm saying? And so go ahead and do that hard work that I gave you because everything that I'm telling you right now is things that I've done. Like, I've been in a bed, like, saying my affirmations, like, come on, girl, like, you can do this. And even if it sucks, shoot, I don't care. You know why? Because you see my eyebrows? Oh, I don't care if y'all listening or not. My eyebrows still gonna be what? Snatched. No, I'm just playing. But let me shout out. Oh, dang, did it go away? Okay, I thought I just made it go away. Let me shout out some of my friends that are here. I got Taylor Staples. I feel like a basketball commentator. Taylor Staples from Cincinnati, Ohio. Shout out to, I was about to say, okay, people I work with, I'm not gonna say y'all last names because We ain't got time for that. Shout out to Net. Shout out to Naya. Shout out to Bertel. My girl Tyler. Shout out to Olu. Danielle, Couture, Fabi, Camille. Shout out to you, Camille, because you was in here talking to me, girl. Shout out to Jasmine. Jada, why do you have your name in here as Jasmine? Shout out to Jada, a.k.a. J Baby. What's up? Shout out to Shireen Justice, my big sister. Shout out to Staten. Shout out to Kel. Anybody that left, shout out to y'all, too. Oh, dang. Please say, did I say Staten or did I say... I ain't say your first name. Thank you, Justice. Let me start recording because now I'm just talking to y'all. But thank you, everybody, for listening to the very first episode of Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl, Toya. See you all next week.